It's Sasuke's solo novel.
Ah,
It's him and Sakura going on a mission because they have to save Naruto from a sickness. So
I remember back in my day, like I was such a big Sasuke Sakura shipper until
Didn't
until
even you're a
halfway into
baby.
Shippuden. I'm like, oh, good lord,
That's
Sakura
when
should
you
have
stop.
dumped this
That's
guy.
when you stop.
Yes.
yeah,
No,
you should.
the second Sasuke was coming at her over Chidori, I'm like, this
Listen, there
Sakura,
were
your character better end with you punching Sasuke. Honestly,
there were flags way before that moment. I just want you to know that.
I know.
Okay, just want to make sure we're square.
Dude,
But no,
I even remember how angry I was when it was speculated that their child was the mother was actually Karen. And I'm like, Sakura, are you fucking kidding me? You don't tell me you're raising Sasuke's child on his behalf. Oh my
oh my god, I still love that story arc. For Sarada, I love that. It makes Sasuke look like a terrible father, and he is. But like, I love that arc
and
so much.
it makes Sakura look like a simp. Like, whoa, that's a whole
You
nother
said make her
level.
like a simp, like she wasn't a simp. Like I don't know
Right.
what you else you thinking about her. That's what she was.
Mhm.
Yeah,
This
but
dude tried to kill her, and it made her think that he did kill her, and then immediately went crying and accepted her back.
yeah, no, he speaks facts. He speaks facts over there. But at
Mhm.
least in Sasuke Retsudan, you see them actually working together and actually enjoying each other's little company. Sasuke thinks about her. He's like, "Oh, I kind of miss being with Sakura." So, you know.
Sasuke and Naruto should have hooked up.
Well, yeah. Well, don't worry. Boruto's got it covered. It's Boruto and Sarada, the next generation. So.
Okay. Yeah, I just like how the viewers are here to watch a Mortal Kombat themed discussion night, and we're all talking about Naruto.
Oh wow,
So,
oh wow. We can talk about Mortal
well,
Kombat now.
Naruto had a deadly alliance. They had
Yeah,
fights to the death. Like,
yeah. It had a stupid antagonist who did all this for a woman, but
no, Jake, not a woman, a girl,
oh
a
right.
13-year-old girl.
Right.
The girl who didn't like him and instead liked a different underage child.
hmm
I
I,
put I put Combat Mortal on the title. My bad.
aw. Do.
Yeah. Once I change this, we're good to go.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, the novel's pretty interesting so far. So I may
Mhm.
or may not review it. I don't know. Depends how I feel. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right,
I
we're
mi-
good.
okay. All right. Want me to start us off? All
Yeah.
right. Welcome, the Comic Fanatic Live, as we talk about Mortal Kombat or MK1. You're here with me,
Mortal
Cryptid Seeker.
Kombat.
Yay! You're here with me, Cryptid Seeker 415. Justice for Kotal Khan.
You're here with me, Jake Tylenol, and you know what? Honestly, justice for Shang Tsung, bro. Like, shout out to my homie, bro.
Here, here with Austin and Jake Comics. Crip is a loser. Just leave Kodo alone. This
He has a
character has
whole
done
song.
nothing
yeah,
good since the moment he popped up. He was randomly handed Jade and say, "Oh yeah, this is his girlfriend." Like, no, it was not.
and he got his ass kicked
Jade,
by
the last time we
Jade.
saw her, we're trying to get on Polygon's Gone a Wild.
Yes.
This was not anyone's girlfriend.
Yes. Also, he also has KK in a wheelchair, and I think that's a big enough W
Oh,
for him. So I think that's a big
you
enough
know,
W.
you talk about W. He, even though he wasn't in this game, he was mentioned to have off-screen gotten beaten by Raiden. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that.
No,
Where
I don't.
Sindel, no,
Yeah, that's
Sindel
another
was
thing I want to bring up.
yeah, Sindel was mentioning that Raiden, like, after defeating General Shao, like he also went on to defeat Kotal Khan and Kintaro or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what was more of a loss. The fact that Kotal Khan had his defeat off screen, or if the studio said, you know what, let's just show him getting his ass whooped on screen, which is worse. You know?
Well, before we even get into
Yeah,
that,
beat
let's
off
start
screen
off.
isn't bad. A lot of people got beat off screen.
Well, let's before we get into that, let's
Time
start
is
off with the
money.
beginning. Let's start from the beginning. What do we think about the story as a whole?
It's all right until the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cryptid.
I mean, I liked a lot of the retellings of the origins in this. I don't recall one person who I didn't like changes done. So yeah.
Um, I think okay. So I like the story overall. I even, to an extent, like the ending, but the ending should not have been in this game. It's kind of my thoughts about it. I think because I think just briefly we're gonna go more in depth with it as time goes on. But I think my issue with the ending is like everything in it looks cool, but then you get to the part where you're like, wow, this is like, what are you gonna do after this? Like everything else is just gonna seem kind of lame. I don't know what you're gonna say. So, you know. Also, if you really think about it, as far as I can tell, it doesn't make sense. But we can get into that later. For now, let's start at the good part, the beginning, the origins, I guess. Uh, so we can go into the origin of the Earthrealm Warriors. So we can go in any order as long as it's about them. So who do you want to start with?
Raiden, how about that?
Okay, yeah, right.
And Kun Lao.
Yeah. What do we think about these versions of Rain and Kunlao?
I thought they were okay.
Okay.
I mean, there wasn't really enough there to say like, oh, I didn't like this retelling or these changes they made. No, that was interesting seeing like.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Austin.
They hyped up Kung Lao with him not doing anything again. That's a problem. The whole first chapter, them fake hyping him up, and they released that chapter early. Just for the 5 seconds after that scene, they cut it off. Like, oh yeah, we're holding back. Oh yeah, you ain't nothing. You ain't gonna do anything in this story.
That's just the curse of anybody with a Kun in their name.
Unless if you're the great Kunlao, then you do everything off screen.
Oh, unless you're Kun Jin, who can honestly say, "Hey, I defeated a Khan of Outworld in public in front of his people."
I think Kung Lao kind of gets screwed over to the sideline, and any character development he gets is not in the story mode; it's in his arcade ending. So that's kind of terrible. But one second.
Yeah, it's really he hyped up, and you find out everything's a lie. Then he loses to Raiden, and then he just doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
he had like one funny scene with Johnny Cage later about the movie references, but that's literally about it.
I think he is good supportive for Raiden. I think what I like about his character is that even though Raiden beats him, he's also like, and he's jealous, obviously, but he's still worried about Raiden. He's like, Raiden, be careful. I don't want you to, you're still my boy. I don't want you to get hurt out there, So I do like those small details where his jealousy isn't like toxic. It just bruises his ego, but he still cares about Raid like his brother, basically. You also find out in some of the dialogue exchanges that Kung Lao might have had a thing with Raiden's sister.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so there's a dialogue exchange where Raiden.
This is implied that his sister likes Kung Lao. It's not implied that Kung Lao.
Well, yeah, that's yeah.
It felt like it's like Kung Lao like the big dude in their village. So his Raiden's sister has a crush on him.
Yeah. So, like I said, I wish that was brought up. I don't like how Raiden's sister just kind of name dropped in the versus matches, but sure.
It's probably a tease for the post story.
Maybe
because the sister's most likely Fujin, a female Fujin.
Yeah. But I did like that. I did like those details about him. It's still weird to me. I know Liu Kang will say in versus especially that he can't fix everything. Like some things are just like it's more complicated than it looks. It's just weird to me that like you would let Kung Lao get here again. Like where he's just second fiddle again. I'm like, man, you could have done something for him. I don't know. But Raiden's pretty.
You expect a lot out of a god, Jake.
I guess I expect too much. But
Mhm.
Raiden's pretty good. I think my only problem with Raiden is like he's cool and he's a guy I would hang out with, but he's too much like Liu Kang when he was.
Aw.
I think it's because up to the point where even where he fights Katana, he's saying the same things Liu Kang said when he beat her, and I was like, okay, look, I don't want Raiden to be dating Katana. That's just like no, that's just,
You
Well,
know,
it is.
they
It
even
is.
gave him the inverse of the Johnny scene,
Mhm.
where I don't know if you know, in Mortal Kombat 9, Liu Kang asks Raiden, "Are you sure about this guy?" He's like, "You don't know, but I mean, he's gonna be a hero. He just doesn't know it yet, or something like that." And they say
Mhm.
the same thing here, but we're
yeah.
in the Mortal Kombat 1.
I did like that. I did like
You,
that.
you know, Jake, it's funny that you should say Raiden is acting a lot like Liu Kang because I do remember seeing some videos of some dialogues, in the matches, right? And it was hinted at that Raiden did have a crush on Katana. Like,
Yes, and I was like, I would rather you not do that, especially because it just makes me feel like Katana only likes the champion. so, so, and to be fair, that's not her fault because she would know, but it's weird from a meta
It's her
context.
fault.
Well, it's not her fault that like she doesn't know,
Don't act like she doesn't know that Katana is that Raiden is the champion.
right? But she doesn't know that Liu Kang was the champion the previous time. I don't think if she knows Liu Kang was the champion of Mortal Kombat, she'd be like, "Oh, Liu Kang, hang on a minute," you know?
She knows if you use her as a character.
Yeah. But
If you use her in the final story, he straight up just says, and they used to call me the chosen one. Like she knows.
oh well, the that's not really Katana. That's
No. If you use Katana, you use the Katana from this timeline for
okay,
the final arc.
okay. We okay.
It's when you let you choose your character to finish the
I'm a
story.
bit confused about that whole plot, so we could go over it later. But keep that in mind, please, because I actually did have questions about that. So um,
Mhm.
okay. So next up, I guess we could go to Johnny Cage for me, who is the
Ooh.
best character, and every scene he's not in suffers. I feel, I feel like um, I feel like when he's not in a cutscene, you actually kind of feel less invested. He's
Aw.
for me. I don't know about you guys. I feel
He's
like
he's a representative of Earth, man. Like the common schmuck, you know?
well, he's a jerk, but unlike
No,
Kung Lao, he
he's
has
a
a lot of
comic monster. He's the richest out of what world renowned fighter.
yeah.
Hmm.
He's a jerk, but unlike Kung Lao, he has a lot more heart on his sleeve. Like he
Hmm.
does care about people, and I think that comes across way better than it did in 9. Which in 9 he was fun, but I think this one made him flesh that out, took that another step further.
Mm.
Um,
It
when
also
Kenshi,
helps. It
oh
also
god,
helps to know that, like, we found out that he had a real name. He wasn't born Johnny Cage. He was born in what, Jonathan Coltrane or something like that.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I do like all his interactions with the team. I like how while he annoys them, like he slowly wears them down. Like him and Kenshi by the end of it become kind of like best friends. I like that.
Oh yeah. He
Uh,
gives Kenshi that family sword since Kenshi saved him, and I
yeah.
like that little dialogue where Johnny's like, "Yeah, you saved my life. I figured that's worth at least 3 mil. So here's a sword." Like,
Yeah, it was really tough. I think that was the moment I was like, man, I'm gonna hate the movie when you find out that like Carl Urban is nothing like this.
God.
I think I'll be very disappointed. But and I
Hmm.
noticed when they slowly phase Johnny Cage out of the story, that is kind of when the characters are fine, but they're not as well written as he is.
Hmm.
And I think you could tell that they had a lot of fun with Johnny Cage, and the others were like fun, but they weren't like as interesting. I would say, but that's just me. What
Hmm.
about you guys? What do you guys think of Johnny Cage?
I liked him. Yeah, he's always been a consistently good character in these past couple of games. Um, Here's a little thought for you. I know you guys didn't like the pairing of Raiden and Katana. What would you guys have thought if like they had Katana hook up with Johnny Cage, since it was clear he had the hots for her in this?
You had a hots for everybody.
Mhm.
Austin, you talked about this before though. Did you have a thought on this?
I think it would have been interesting because they're so different. And if you go by the
Mhm.
arcade, not arcade, if you go by the versus dialogue, she did eventually go see a film with him, and then
Ooh.
and then love the film.
Yeah. I think it will be new and different. Obviously, I don't think I could get Cassie again, but I'd be interested in seeing where it would go if they did get together.
Wouldn't you want to see an Indian version of Johnny Cage, man?
Yeah,
That
I think
no, because
I
if
would
it's
like
just
to.
Kathy, but her daughter, that'll be boring.
Right. I would just want it to be. I want it to be like a different like character at that point. If you're going all the way with that,
Yeah. Also,
Hmm.
she would not let her daughter come out like Johnny Cage.
right? So, I think those two would be more interesting together. It also seems Liu Kang is impartial to whatever this katana does, so I guess you would have to deal with any of that.
Yeah,
So,
he's a creepy as shit.
yeah, yeah,
Like I thought he was.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I do like how Liu Kang treats these people like they're wholly different people. He doesn't. He kind of does. Like he knows what.
Unless you're Tang and Quanchi.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we kill them. Then we ruin their lives.
No,
I mean, heard a
you just
rumor. It was like, yeah, go get him and drag him in.
You
you
bring
give
them to
them
me.
you give them the most boring, crappy sort of lives you can imagine. Which honestly, they had that coming, man. Come on.
But they didn't though. There's a new timeline, but we'll get there later.
Yeah. I think the last one we have left is Kenshi. For Team Earthrealm.
Mhm.
I think Kenshi, like I said, he's
That's the
there,
guy,
but
them new Garrett's.
yeah. What you got at Garrus that team? Did you say?
You said Earthrealm fighter. He ain't really technically he's the Earthrealm fighter.
I guess.
He's on our side.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, we'll get to okay, so Kenshi, I think he's interesting when he's with Cage. I think they have really good banter. I like their friendship.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
on his own, I think he's fine. Like I think all the Earthrealmers are fine. I think Johnny Cage is the only exceptional one.
I think the changes they made with Kenshi are just more of a safe route of something you would expect. Like, he was working on the Yakuza, he was a lineage of swordsmen in the past. Like, okay, yeah, I can already see that
You,
with
re-
Kenshi's background.
you realize they just made him Snake Eyes, right?
pretty much.
Whoa. Well, I didn't think of it
No, that's not a
that.
joke. If you watch the Snake Eyes movie, it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
Well, I didn't watch a Snake Eyes movie, so.
He was like
It's a Snake Eyes movie, but instead of just putting on a mask, he gets actual blinded, and the sword gives him power.
yeah.
Yakuza, all that stuff is still there. The Yakuza is just Cobra.
Right.
It's literally like the same thing.
Wow.
There was also I don't know where this went, but in the beta, Liu Kang, if Liu Kang fought Kenshi, he would be like, "You're going too far, Kenshi," and then Kenshi would be like, "Well, maybe I'm not going far enough," but that went nowhere. So I was like, "Oh, okay, I got."
Apparently, that's it's him trying to pursue his way out of the Yakuza, which apparently in my other dialogue he does do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he was being too harsh and stuff with it, with the special force. His ancestors were like,
Okay.
Roger, kill these guys. F these guys up or make them look crap. And like that was happening.
Okay. I think, like I said, I think Kenshi's just fine. I think Austin saw his ending and I didn't. That was the only ending I didn't see, but he told me about it. Do you want to talk about it, Austin?
Kenshi had the best power ending cryptid because he basically forms heroes for hire with
Luke Cage.
Jax.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
okay.
no. Jax.
Yeah. Jax.
Yeah, so Jax and Kenshi, instead of Power Man and Iron Fist, and they work for the FBI, but they're basically going to be heroes for hire going into Outworld trying to investigate. They're basically the new organization that was in the last few games, but it's just the FBI and them.
Also, like if Johnny Cage fights Kenshi and he talks about the ending, he's like, "So this Jax guy, he good people?" He's like, "He's the best kid." So, like, I'm like,
Yeah.
so, oh, I guess we should talk about that too. I do like Johnny Cage's plot of he wants to film the Mortal Kombat universe and make a cinematic universe out of. That was really funny.
That's his way of getting the Earth realms, like, their first taste of this whole Mortal Kombat world. Because otherwise, if you just immediately say, "Oh, there's like other realms out there, we're fighting to compete against them," this and that, that might be too much in one go. So he's just softening the blow with movies,
Yeah,
That's the thing, though. He only fights against one round. Like Liu Kang doesn't think anything like any other round he made. To be honest, that's why literally it's like, oh yeah, we got to worry about outward. Everyone else is going to kind of team up with Quan Chi.
But I did like that too. Oh, and we found out in Raiden's ending, Raiden knows about his other timeline, so he knows like he can get evil. So he wants to train with Scorpion to learn how to control his rage, because Liu Kang made him mortal, so he wouldn't have those rage tendencies. And Raiden was like, "No, I want to learn how to master it. I don't want to be like have it just in there."
You know what? Shouldn't we do the ninjas here? Aren't they technically Earthrealm too?
But they're the villains, and they well, half of one of those. We can't.
One of them
Well,
is, not the other.
Well, once we get the Earth realms out the way, I was thinking we just go through story beats so it goes a little faster, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, so you find out about Raiden and Scorpion, and they're training to harness his rage, and apparently they're making some progress if you go by verses. Oh, and then we find out in Kung Lao's ending that Shunjinko.
Yeah, but then why are you holding his ending over Kung Lao's?
Yeah, Kung Lao.
Sometimes you get angry.
Kung Lao's ending is like, so apparently Shunjinko was a kid and he joined the White Lotus, or not the White Lotus, that's like the elite club. He joined the monks and he was trained by Kung Lao, and Kung Lao taught him to be the best, but he didn't teach him humility because Kung Lao himself did no humility. So Shunjinko went crazy and he tried to kill everyone. And then Liu Kang had to step in and take his memories and his powers away. He could still like learn stuff like he did in the other games, but now it's just reset to zero basically. He doesn't remember he went crazy. So now Kung Lao and Raiden are teaching him essentially. So
wow.
Yeah. So but yeah, I think those are all the endings. And then if you wanted to add Garrus, what do you guys think of Garrus in this one?
He basically became, what was Darkseid's role in DC? He was like Darkseid Prime or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Like where he's just sitting in the chair watching the multiverse and that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was already basically doing that for this timeline. That he can see all the timelines, but he can't really do a lot without starting stuff up.
Yeah. I thought he was pretty cool. I think giving him a better character than in the last game, because he was just kind of right. Yeah, but it works for him. I like how much
it's all
it's not like he has anything else.
He glazes Liu Kang so hard. He's just said there like, Liu Kang, this is the best timeline I've ever seen. This is peak. You cooked here. Like he's so happy about this timeline.
Oh man.
But I do like he's the only one Liu Kang could talk to about this stuff at first. And I guess lastly, we should talk about the man himself, Liu Kang, God.
I do want to talk about the Shunjinko thing one more time, real quick.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Because I was on Discord, so they had cut me out the call, so I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're pretty much just setting up him as like a villain for the third game. To be honest, when you think about it, they already had him go full evil and full powerful, and then they reset it. So I think something at the end of the next game is going to trigger those memories to come back, and that's going to be the part of the third game.
Perhaps I could see it.
It feels weird to already set up him being the GOAT, and then God himself had to come in and cheat him out of W. But
with all the
like for that, we're going not mean anything.
Yeah, we're going
to get evil counterparts of pretty much every MK fighter in the next game.
I don't know what they could do. Well,
I was thinking we're going to do it in the next game. I think that would be boring.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can just bringing people over.
Let's get through Liu Kang, and then we could just start going by story arcs. And then
okay.
So I guess Liu Kang. Does anyone want to go with Liu Kang first? Too? What's their thoughts on Liu Kang?
That was interesting.
He kind of a bit.
Okay, Cryptid first, Austin second, I guess.
Okay. He tried playing the role of a god. I mean, it's not that easy. Like things don't always work out the way you wanted. Pieces don't obey your own rules, and this and that. He tried doing what he can, you know.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Austin.
But,
It was pretty easy for him to change certain stuff, and they just act like we gonna gloss over that.
mm-hmm.
It making it sure that Sindel is good, but Shane Sutter and them gotta just be in the fucking ground dirt, digging it, trying to get it out the mud.
Yeah.
They what this man's like, oh, I made sure you were a proud and just straight queen.
Considering
He's like, what?
Considering that Shang Tsung came close to killing Liu Kang and taking all his godlike powers, I can understand why he will want to do Shang Tsung dirty.
You know what's funny? Guess who did kill Liu Kang? Sindel.
Sindel was damn near worse. If you really Liu Kang.
No. Sindel, like Signal killed like Liu Kang, like when he was still mortal and this stuff. But Shang Tsung almost killed Liu Kang when he was already a god. So which is more troublesome,
Evil Sindel comes to this timeline and beats the dog shit out of Fire God Liu Kang. Okay, I'm just keep in mind. Shang Tsung from the other timeline needed Quan Chi to team up with him to take on Fire God Liu Kang. Sindel beat Fire God Liu Kang on her own. And like 10 other guys. Okay, I'm just saying. But yeah, I like Liu Kang's character. I think it's just because it's been so long. I don't think we've ever. Yeah, we haven't. Unless you want to count Mortal Kombat 9 at the very beginning, Liu Kang hasn't been the straight up good guy in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we never seen him in a full cinematic story where he's a good guy, I guess, except for Shaolin monks. So it is nice seeing a Liu Kang that's just kind of like, uncorruptible, just like a nice guy.
Oh, the chosen one, acting like the chosen one.
Yeah.
Liu Kang would do justice for a long time because in recent games, like I think it started with Deadly Alliance, right? Or at the end of it, where he gets killed. Then you have Deception, where he's either a ghost or a zombie. Then Armageddon, it kept that same status. He's either a ghost or a zombie. And then MKX happened, and he gets killed by Raiden. And then in the following game, he becomes a bad guy.
Yeah.
But then when it came to
no, the following game, the X is 11. And he's the god.
No, it's not. Yeah, at 9 he gets killed by Raiden. 10 he becomes a bad guy, and 11 he's the bad guy for most of it. Well, there is a bad guy version of him there.
No, young Liu Kang.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was correcting myself. Yeah, I was correcting myself. He there's a young Liu Kang, but then there's also an evil Liu Kang. But even then, I would say that story is mostly about Raiden until that part. I would say it's like straight up about Liu Kang. Because even then, it's about Raiden learning. Oh, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's about Raiden. I just feel like Raiden just randomly cuts in. Like no matter what you're doing, you're like, oh yeah, so I'm evil now.
Yeah. So,
I'm mad.
Yeah. So So I think it was just nice having just a simple story. Well, not simple, but a story where Liu Kang is just a good guy, and for all intents and purposes, he is a good mentor. I would say, for the most part, I do like how everyone reviews.
No, he's not. So this is the most. This man is like favoritism.
Oh no, to Raiden, he's a favorite, but everybody else he knows a role. Like he clearly screws over Kal-El, but everybody else he's like pretty good still.
Everybody screws over Kal-El.
Johnny Cage is like, well, he's nice. Yeah. This dude is rolling his eyes at Johnny being Johnny, like he didn't reset the time. Well, this isn't his fault.
Yeah, but he appreciates it. Like he comes back, he's like, you know what, Johnny Cage, we'll sit down, we'll talk together. He appreciates seeing Johnny happy with his life and everything. So he seems to like.
Can't take a day off to be in a movie.
Yeah, but no, it seems like he does care about these people, and I really do appreciate that. I like how also, as Austin brought up too, he wasn't being creepy with the katana situation. In his mind, that's a different katana. Separate. You know.
But by the time
I have a question about this.
when he sees a different katana, he's all up and smooshing there. Let's
Well,
not forget that.
they're technically
No, that's his katana.
that is technically his katana. It's not.
Oh,
All the other people that showed up that on Liu Kang's side were people from 11 that beat Chronica, basically.
okay.
So they're the same versions of people that they know specifically,
Mhm.
who just instead of him winning, they won. It's like the arcade endings for them were canon.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, last thoughts on
But
yeah.
why would that for that? So Liu Kang's station is a Titan, right?
No, he was.
He beat Chronica and he replaced her.
He did, and then he stopped. So he was a Titan, and then he de-escalated himself to.
No. I understand that, but I mean specifically, he was above the Elder Gods for a while. Why won't they let us do it? Like do more of the Elder Gods? Because like we only know 2 of them. And there's like what 8 of them,
and we also know they exist here because that's how Liu Kang got the power for Raiden. So,
and we also know that he depowered the other Elder God, was the evil dude in this timeline.
Onaga's not an Elder God, I don't think, but Shinnok is. Yeah.
Nah. So it's just like every time they come bring him up, like, are you gonna do something? Are you gonna at least consult with him?
No, I want that to be an arc for Raiden. Raiden's just like kind of sitting there. He's like twitching. He's like, I must consult with the Elder Gods. I haven't heard.
He said so, just like put the amulet up there and just start talking.
Yeah. So, but no, it's like I said. I don't know. Hopefully, we get more lore to. That was a problem I have with the universe as a whole, but it makes sense. But it also is a problem narratively. But we'll get to that. But now that we're done with all the Earth,
I just think they get to name certain stuff. Like I just feel like a lot of stuff wasn't mentioned. Like the origin of powers for Earthrealm people were just not talked about. Because you go by Liu Kang's own dialogue when he gives Raiden the amulet, it seems like they don't actually have powers or anything that can even odds.
Right.
But that's clearly not the case.
Yes. Also, if Liu Kang were just like, "Hey, Johnny, give Kenshi the sword so we can like win," that'd be great. That'd be kind of great for him to say. Yeah, okay. So that's all the Earthrealmers. I guess now we can get into story arcs. I guess with the first one, we can kind of count. Do you want to count like the ninjas as the first story arc, or do you want to count the tournament as the first story arc?
Tournament.
No, it's a tournament.
Okay. So the tournament arc, I would say, is probably the best arc in the game. Some problems aside, to me. Obviously, Liu Kang's favoritism for Raiden is just apparent. It's like obviously it was very clear Raiden was supposed to be that guy.
I had a feeling this was going to end up like this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They thought what? Last time we thought Raiden would get his ass whooped.
No offense, Kung Lung, but I gotta side with the A team here. Raiden. Your family just has a history of getting screwed over. No offense.
We also find out this tournament is a bit different. Okay, so when I was a kid, I thought this is what the Mortal Kombat tournament was for. I thought it would just I didn't realize about the realm stuff till later. But in this timeline, it's not really called Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's like a different term. It's just called the tournament. And the idea is that there's a lot of Outworlders who
the tournament between
there's an Outworld. Sometimes there's a lot of Outworlders who want to pick a fight with Earthrealm. So to show that Earthrealm has big dick energy, Liu Kang gets like tough fighters every 1,000 years, and they fight and show off.
Every 100.
Right, every 100. Yeah, every 100, not every 1,000. That was the original. And and they've gone back and forth for years, and then they get to decide. And then I guess based off who wins, they get home field advantage. And it's really just like
it's
go ahead.
It's 1 versus 5, and depending on where you are, will depend on if you have the advantage of having the 5 people.
Yeah, and I think I like this a little bit more. Like I don't get me wrong, I love the lore of the original, where it's like we're doing this because we can't have Outworld and just invade everybody, because then we have to deal with the one being. I like the reinterpretation of the tournament, though. I think it's a really cool idea, because Outworld are clearly a bunch of fighters, so they need somebody to fight. Otherwise, they're just gonna fight everybody. So,
I don't agree though.
Okay.
Because if you go like this, the only reason Earthrealm even had a chance this time because he gave Raiden the amulet power. Well, he just doing it every year,
We know that the
and
okay.
go ahead. No. Go you say what you're gonna say, then I'll go to the next
Okay,
one.
I was gonna say, it seems like the Great Kung Lao might have had powers. I don't know. The Great Kung Lao was still the first winner of the tournament. Basically, he was the first Earthrealm winner. I'm going to assume he dies.
That's it.
No, he doesn't die because they can't kill in this tournament. That's right. So
Yeah, but he doesn't show up the next 100 years.
yeah, so I don't think. Are you immortal, or is it because he lost?
No,
Okay,
no
yeah,
way.
so,
he just never came back.
yeah,
I'm going by the dialogue.
yeah.
It's according to them, this is like the 5th or 6th tournament because they started when the dad died, and dad died when they were like teenagers. According to them.
Yeah. So I guess yeah. So basically, the Great Kung Lao just kind of doesn't. They don't mention it, but we know he didn't die in the tournament because Liu Kang specifically tells Kung Lao, "Hey, don't worry about Raiden. The fight isn't fatal because it's not Mortal Kombat. It's just combat. So don't worry."
According to their dialogue, at some point, Outworld did win.
Right.
Because they go essentially saying it's been too long since Outworld won.
Yeah. So, yeah. But either way, I do like how it is. I also like the idea that like you have that if it does kind of show how impressive your realm is. If you could run through 5 of the strongest people in somebody else's world, that is kind of big ticket.
I like I said, I don't agree. It only works if you win.
If you
If Outworld came to Earthrealm and then beat 5 dudes, like his whole plan, like he straight up just in shambles instead of just doing a regular tournament, showcase the best of everybody.
I when you
and then like this feels more like a bluff at anything. Because I feel like, oh, we're so lucky Raiden won. No one else here can play.
I do.
It comes
When
off.
you do bring it up, I do kind of have to agree. I think I need to see. I don't quite understand the consequences because it doesn't sound like Sindell's just jumping to go to war. It sounds like it's just so people like Shao Kahn don't want to go to war. You know, it's only supposed to scare them, but not Sindel. So I don't quite. I guess you do bring up a point. The stakes are kind of unclear because they've lost before, and Earthrealm has been fine. So but. Another thing I do.
Shao had to be around. He's way older than Katana and them. Katana 10,000 years old.
Yeah. But I will say, I think what I do like about this tournament, unlike 9, is that there's a greater sense of the characters interacting. I thought that 9 was terrible with their Mortal Kombat 1 retelling, but I do like seeing the characters like sitting at dinner, getting to know the lore. Liu Kang's displaying like, hey, over here, there's there's stuff over here, and there's all stuff works.
So. I like that scene of General Shao and Raiko just on the table, like sitting next to each other, both defeated. What a disappointment you are, Raiko.
That's funny. Do they steal that whole dinner scene for the movie?
Maybe.
Because I don't think really like the tournament just happens and it's supposed to be like all in like one day and everyone leaves.
Right.
But the movie had it so it's like, oh no, y'all gotta invite to my island, but y'all go over here and eat. And then we'll do like 3 fights, and y'all go to bed.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and it's better here because this is a more diplomatic thing. Like in the original, it's like it's a very like, no, we're trying to get to business. We're trying to destroy your planet.
He'll just be tired. Like he was just going to bed.
Yeah. So I do like that. I do like seeing the characters get to know each other. I like the scene where they're all looking across from each other, trying to analyze, who's who, how the relationships work. I do like seeing Melina. You get more of Melina and her Tarkatan struggle. I think all this stuff is great, and I even love the moment Raiden does beat Shao Kahn because in 9 they had this whole big rivalry at the very end of the game. So it's cool seeing them Raiden win in this timeline. And then after this moment, I was all on board for General Shao, and then I think after that chapter, every time I saw him, he was a bigger disappointment.
It's literally all of them. Right. And you can explain it for Shang Tsung and Quan Chi at the very least. Because we know for a fact, until this story started, they did not train to fight. They could not fight. But them losing hand-to-hand fight for me was okay once I remembered that fact. Shao Kahn's a literal war hero. And he loses like every point. Like
And
casual.
it doesn't help the point of favorite.
Like we may kick him in the back of the head one time.
And it doesn't help your point of favorite. Well, it helps your point of like Liu Kang has favoritism because it's like Liu Kang. I feel like anybody could have gone up there and beat Shao Kahn. Like the moment after seeing these later fights, there's a fight later in Scorpion's chapter where he fights Scorpion, where Scorpion fights Subzero and General Shao, and
he fights everybody. He fights 5 people.
Yeah,
he beat Shang Tsung ultimate. Reiko.
Right.
He beats a Havoc.
Right. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, where these guys are not threatening at all. I don't know what to tell you. What did you? But Krypton, what did you think about this tournament arc?
I thought it was fine. Again, like earlier, I had stated my biggest reaction was just seeing, or no, not seeing, hearing that Kotal had an off-screen defeat in here. You know,
I didn't even catch that.
You guys.
No. It wasn't in the tournament. It was post the story.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, the writers just can't stop finding a way to diss Kotal Khan. Is he the new what's that most hated character's name?
No, it's not really a diss. He lost to the champion of Mortal Kombat. They got to beat Shao Kahn all you other people. That's not really a diss.
I guess, but
No, it is. Yeah, like they said. Oh yeah. So he came by. He just kind of lost to like Reptile and like Kenji and all them.
I do see what Krypton's saying. I see what you're saying also, but I also see what Krypton's saying. It's like this dude has been getting like the shit kicked out of him ever since he first showed up for like no reason. I don't know why in addition you have to be. I mean, like, why? I'm like at the point. It's like, why even bring it up? Why? I get Bintaro at least. I was like, why even put Kotal's name in your mouth?
That's why I was gonna ask. Do y'all want the data mine has revealed the DLC people? Do y'all want to know?
Who are they?
Yeah.
Well, Jade, Cassie Cage, like basically all the rest of the combat kids, because Kade's in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And for our character, we don't know if it's Conan the Barbarian or Kotal. But if it's Kotal, that makes more sense. But people think it's Conan because of the lack of guest characters.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostface is coming as the scary Halloween DLC version. And the Cyrax and Septor are coming. But Cyrax apparently in this timeline is a female. So we get a female robot Cyrax.
Go for it.
And if I remember correctly, it was one more person. Every combat kid except for Jackie Jackie Breaks is coming. And I thought that was hilarious.
To be fair, she was the least popular combat kid, so.
So if Kotal,
yeah, but she shows up and gets killed by Katana.
Here's a question: if Kotal Khan does pop up as a DLC,
Noob Saibot, the other person.
Cool. If he does pop up as a DLC, is there a chance he could actually score a win against General Shao?
No.
No, come on. Even at his
if he was losing to Raiden off screen, they're probably comparable, but Shao is the one who's going to be more important to the story later on. I don't think he should lose to Kotal.
Wow. I think I also, but getting back to the story, I think the tournament arc is fine, and I even think the arc after that, where like, you know, as Austin brought up, it was funny just seeing Liu Kang just hear the name Shang Tsung, and he's like, find him now, bring him to me. I need to know. So, and I did like that too, where he was playing his part, like Raiden is the champion of Mortal Kombat. We can't have him be a part of the rest of the story because, you know, he could start international incident. Well, you know, cross realms incident. The rest of you, you go on this secret Black Ops mission.
The rest of you, whoever wants to, and was standing next to him, you're not that important.
Right.
You know, maybe
they won't notice. So I did like that. Like I said, I didn't like the growing bond between Kenshi and Johnny Cage. That's what we got in that story arc. And then I also like the Shang Tsung, I wouldn't say twist, but kind of like the whole, like, you know, cover play where he's like, you fools, I'm actually here to save Melina. So, and then I like that knowing.
I like it.
Oh, I was gonna say I like knowing damn well that he knew that they were there to save Melina. When the guards came in, he's like, they're trying to kill her. So, like, the whole, like, so, you know.
I liked it, but I just like the disrespect for Baraka. Baraka actually got a lot of depth in this storyline. That's his only good
Yes.
time he's been a good person.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
the moment this part of the story ends, he literally does not matter. I don't know why they brought it up.
This was
It's
They brought it up for Melina full story,
It-
but it was not important ever again
it's
for him.
it's still something to go for Baraka, because I said this before, like in previous discussions, but Baraka is just what you see is what you get. There really is no difference from the main Baraka than all the other troop soldiers he has, you know. But at least in here, I like the twist that okay, it is a disease, and like Baraka was a successful merchant until
Every
he had.
makes more sense of why they all look the same. I
Yeah.
don't know why like MK like 11, not MK10. They just had an army of regular looking Baraka people. They just all look like Baraka
I
Yep,
think
that is
getting
true.
killed by Kombat.
I
But
think
I do got wonder how exactly is this disease transmitted, though?
According
yeah, go ahead.
according to Baraka, it just you risk it just being close enough to them.
Mm.
So it has to be something through touch.
I mean, I'm just thinking like,
If it was airborne, like more people have it.
yeah, I mean, because I'm like thinking like fighting is a really is a main tactic of Molina. So I mean, come on,
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. They go out their way to say she has Tarkat. She does not have Tarkat. She has nothing like these people.
Mhm.
She doesn't even have the same features as these people.
I think this also is the part that kind of tells us that Liu Kang isn't in complete control. And to be fair, they also retroactively explain why Chronica couldn't get what she wanted to, because I know there was a lot of criticism like, Chronica, if you control all time, how come you can't make the timeline you want? And apparently
Mhm.
you get instances like this. Well, if you want this character to exist, then they gotta get to this point somehow. Basically, so like Baraka, you might want Baraka to have a happy life, but at the end of the day, he has to look like Baraka somehow. So
Oh,
same with Melina.
You
So,
start seeing that of Liu Kang like as
No,
soon as he saw that
but
Kenshi
the one thing about
lost
Liu
her.
Kang, he experienced her thing was more than he trying to get a balance. It just wouldn't happen.
Right.
You can't make good and evil work, and it just had them every time they fight tie. It just doesn't make
right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say.
that was it.
Oh no, I was saying that I do like that because you do get that dialogue too where Baraka I think asked Liu Kang like, well, you're the time god, why am I like this? He's like, well, I couldn't just change everything. I tried, but history keeps changing you under this. So
Yeah. I mean, look,
Every person he threw up at him. If you're a god, then heal me. And Liu Kang said some shit like, "Well, I didn't give myself that power." It's like, why didn't you give yourself that power? You give yourself, you basically a god, and you don't have the power to heal people. They're like the basic like god miracle.
I think it's like he can heal you, but I don't think he can heal you to that extent. I think he did that so he wouldn't be because he clearly says I didn't want to be a time god anymore because I didn't want to be tempted like Chronica. So I don't think he wants the ability to just go crazy. So I think he limits himself over more than he should. So.
Look at his buddy Kenshi, man. He tried his best to prevent him from being blind, but look at what happened. He went blind either way, you know. Like,
well, to be fair, he's not the god anymore at that point.
mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, once it's starting to back time god.
He was just. I mean, he thought he set the pieces in place.
He made a timeline. He saw the future, and then he became a regular guy to try to ensure it. So by the time he became a regular guy, Shang Tsung then came over and started to mess up his timeline. And that's why he does it now. And then for some reason, Gareth only waits till now to be like, oh, yeah, Shang Tsung's doing stuff.
Well, he doesn't know it's Shang Tsung. At first, he was like, I don't know who this is. But then I thought about it. I was like, I don't.
Well, he's like, he doesn't go to tell, hey, yo, he's doing stuff. Something's happening.
I do. I will say too. Like I said, I did like the new timeline Shang Tsung. I like seeing Shang Tsung just try to get his grind back. It's literally Shang Tsung gets his groove back, bro. That's what this whole. I really wish he actually talked to Liu Kang about what he did and how that was not okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's so weird that Liu Kang actively pre-fucked these few characters, and then he's mad that they're mad, and they want revenge.
Right, but that's the thing, though. If you listen to the verses with Liu Kang and Shang Tsung is like, you shouldn't have even done that. You should have just killed me. Because there was no way I was going to do this again. I wish there was a little bit more depth to it, though. Just I wish, but like, you didn't even give me a chance. You just assumed I would be a bad guy. Like, I wish there was something like that. I don't know. But I do like Shang Tsung.
That's what I'm saying earlier. He tried to make these dudes humble by giving them a hard life. But I'm like, oh yeah, Sindel, you killed all my friends before and me, and made us all remnants, and starting the whole remnant thing in the first place.
Well, and
you get to be queen and be a happy life with an extra daughter.
I'm not defending the idea. I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna defend the idea that he did that and not for Shang Tsung, but I will defend the sense that he did that for Sindel specifically because he knew in a prior timeline she was supposed to be a good person. That's why that retcon really doesn't work. That's why that retcon that she was evil makes no sense.
We know that by his own dialogue, he only mentions to her that you were evil. You were evil as hell. In fact, you were fucking shot. He doesn't go out his way to be like, oh yeah, I saw good in you because you were good before. He straight up just tells her, you were evil shit last time.
Right.
And so I went out my way to make you a good, fair queen. That's my problem.
What were we gonna say, Krypton?
I was about to say, keep in mind, part of why he probably would have wanted, he was trying an effort to make Sindel a good person, is because of her relation with Katana. Her being a good, her being a good mother.
We can say that, but he straight up doesn't treat this Katana with any type of special grace.
Well, we know that he.
So I don't think he.
Well, he does treat them. This is like when he made the timeline the way it is. We know that he did it with some things in mind, and also we were told. I don't remember if this is in the story or if this is in the verses. We were somewhere. It was said that Liu Kang looked at not just the timeline he's from, but the timeline before that, and timeline before that, timeline before that. So like, no, he says that to Rain. That's what he says to Rain. Rain talks to him. He's like, "Why did you leave?" Oh no. It was either Rain or Havoc, but someone says like, "Why did you make me this way?" It's like, I didn't make you this way. You're always this way. No matter what anybody does, you're gonna be this way regardless. So it seems like again, the Sindel. It's just because Sindel being evil all the time made no sense in that last timeline. So I don't. That's where it's kind of weird. But
I just just tell her, "Oh yeah, you were evil. You were fucking general, by the way." And then I just made you good. That's. But I do wish that he did. Well, no. Let's go over the rest of the stuff, and I'll go.
Yeah. So we're done with that, but then okay. So this is where the story starts to lose me a bit. It's like the further you get away from the tournament arc, the less the more the Earthrealm heroes have to do with anything. So now we're kind of at the Reptile arc, and I would say it's like Reptile, Ashura, and Baraka, and it's okay. I like Reptile. I like Asura. It feels like this.
I never saw those two. I never saw those two as a ship, but go for it.
Yeah, because they shouldn't have been. The last time you see Reptile, he's literally talking about his dead family.
Right.
His family. He just found his family died. Right. And then next time you see him, like, well, I'm fucking a dude.
Yes. But don't get me wrong, I like this, and this is how we get to know Quan Chi as a villain, but Quan Chi is not a good villain, so I don't care. Quan Chi was better in Mortal Kombat 10 because he was just straight up serving Shinnok, and he was just a good person for that. But here, he
literally gets knocked out by Jax to get in the story.
Right.
He just gets uppercutted.
Right.
He did his part. He created Ermac. That's all he was good for,
Yeah, but this is where I kind of I'm like,
he didn't do that well.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking at Quan Chi man, you're just kind of a stooge. Which, to be fair, if you're going by all of Mortal Kombat history, he's supposed to be, but it's not written interestingly like it kind of was in 4 and 10 for me. So I don't know. But unless you guys have anything you want to say about this, we can go to the next story arc.
No, we could go.
I'll save my Quan Chi stuff later.
Okay. And then after they escape, I do like how they do offer Ashura a home, and she's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think the next arc, though, and this is the next big one, the ninja arc, I will call it, with Scorpion, Smoke, and Subzero. I might have missed it. Is there any reason why Beyond has fire powers? Some reason?
You mean Kuai Liang?
Oh, Kuai Liang, yeah, Kuai Liang.
No, I told you this game does not explain any powers
Right.
besides Outworld. Earthrealm, the ninjas are still Earthrealm. We don't know. They just don't talk about them having powers.
Yeah. Smoke doesn't. I know Smoke is using technology, but I don't believe them because he actually is flying. So that's crazy. But
No, at one point, you feel like he has a mix of both. That he literally throws a smoke bomb, but it does not stop him from teleporting over there.
right.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think of Bihan?
I liked it, but didn't like it because people had this weird like thinking of that Bihan is always evil, and that was just never the case.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Bihan before he died actually did love his brother. That's the only reason Kuai Liang took up Subzero to get revenge. But they were actually pretty close. He was an okay guy. He was just a ninja, and ninjas kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's also the one.
So of course, when Scorpion walked up to him like, "You killed my family," he's like, "Probably. I don't know. I killed people. You know, what family is doing about?" And then he gets killed for it.
Yeah. I think my problem with Bihan is that I don't know if it's. I think it's the actor. He's just too obviously evil. Like it's to the point where like Luke, hey, you gonna say something, bro? You gonna do something?
Yeah. This is the weirdest part of the story when it comes to like Liu Kang, because like clearly you saw the signs.
Right.
If you saw all the timelines, you don't, and you know these people, but you don't see the signs that this guy probably evil.
Right.
And it's not like the situation of like the other things where he's not working with these people. He apparently works very much with these people.
Yeah.
He see this dude like every Tuesday.
And he has nothing to say when Bihan's clearly out of line or going too aggressive. Like Raiden would do this too, where he would, if one of his guys was going out of line, he'd be like, "Hey, chill out back there." You know what I mean? That's what he used to say. So like I don't know why he would like he did that to Liu Kang. Like he did to Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 9. And Mortal Kombat 9 when Liu Kang was kind of getting annoyed with him. He's like, "Liu Kang, chill out. I got it. Chill out." You know what I mean? Like I wish Fire God Liu Kang tried with Bihan. It just felt like he just kind of let him go off hinge. I don't quite understand.
Wow.
You remember when he let Bihan start beating the mess out of Johnny Cage? Because Johnny Cage rightfully like, "Bro, what are you doing in my house?"
And then Bihan does it. I'm trying to think. Does Bihan get a chapter? Does he?
No.
Yeah, so he just kind of loses every time you see him.
That chapter is no. I think the start of that chapter is him with Scorpion as his backup.
Right.
And then once the switch happens, Scorpion's the main guy, and then Smoke is Scorpion's backup.
Yeah. I think their dynamic is kind of generic. I don't know why he's so against Smoke. You would think they've been together for so long, he would just kind of accept Smokes in the clan. I don't. But sure.
Yeah, he's a dollar. He's just like, "Well, just because Dad adopted you doesn't make you my brother." Like, why not?
And also, Smoke seems to accept him with open arms. So now I'm like, I thought you would think.
Yeah, Kuai Liang loves Smoke.
Right. So.
I mean, for me, like with that duo, the only thing I really liked that they changed was just having Smoke being related to them. Well, albeit adoption, but still that added an interesting dynamic,
Yeah. So
to be fair, Smoke was always a linked way, so he was related to them in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
the other games, Link is literally like a family, like a clan, like a full-on just clan of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like Shang Tsung was supposed to turn Bihan, and that was supposed to be a showing of how he's a master manipulator. But it's like, bro, like I feel like anybody could have said the same.
Yo, bro, I got money.
Yeah.
I got money.
Yeah. I also like how Scorpion's like. Also, poor Scorpion, poor Kuai Liang. He gets to sit there in the background, listening to his brother, and listen to this obvious evil speech. And it's like, you're not listening to this, are you? So, it was.
This also is another universal, like a multiverse constant thing, where just like Kenshi lost his eyes, Kuai Liang got his scar on his face.
Yes. Well, like I said, I just don't understand why Bihan had to be evil, especially because I don't even think he was really evil in the original timeline. He actually was on the good guy side before the events of the first game. So
it's primarily because we have to have a fight between Scorpion and Subzero no matter what.
I wish it was better written. That's
Mhm.
really my only thing. But I think at the end of the day, and also this is where it starts getting ridiculous, because this is like the point where I'm like, Shao Kahn is terrible. Because as I pointed out before, he loses with Bihan's help fighting Kuai Liang. I'm like,
After Shang Tsung lost.
yeah, so that was a 2v1 against two strong guys, and you lost your ass. So,
He fights Havoc right after this. The Havoc scene might be my favorite thing for this game. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's a scene with Havoc where Scorpion like puts his face into like a boiling hot like oil,
Uh-huh.
and it has how Havoc moves the bottom part of his mouth, and he gets out. He's like, "I am not done." I was like, "Bro."
But yeah, that was just kind of weird. But yeah, other than that, I thought actually no, I don't really have much to say about Kuai Liang. The only thing Kuai Liang does is that in his ending, no, in Smoke's ending actually, you find out that they adopted a child who is Hanzo Hasashi, and he's training to be in the Shirai Ryu, basically.
Yeah, so Smoke's training old Scorpion, and Kuai Liang basically just married Scorpion's wife.
Right.
Apparently, they were child friends this timeline. When they need to make a new plan, which is the Shiryu, he rented her in Japan, and then he's using her area. And apparently, they got married.
And we also know that Bihan wanted to use the Dragon Army, but he was like, "Nah, Liu Kang's gonna know that I'm doing that." But if we make a robot army, a Cyber Lin Kuei initiative, you could say.
Yeah.
So
apparently, Sector just a god tier robotic man. Every time, like I still don't know how he did this in the first place, but apparently he's doing it again. And he made the Cyberlink.
Yeah. So, that was the ninja chapter, and then after that, I think this is kind of where the plot goes off the rails completely, if I'm not mistaken.
Go for it. We know you've been waiting for this.
Basically, they get together and it's like, "Oh, Shang Tsung, what's your plan?" Like, "Oh no, my plan is that mind change."
Yeah. Oh well, wait. Before we get to that, we get Liu Kang realizing he has to tell Sindel the truth about the timeline, and I thought about it. I was like, I'm still 50-50 if you actually have to say anything. I guess.
No. He would have to.
I guess by the end, by the time, like if he had said anything by the time the twist happens, I think she would have been like, "Okay, fuck you, Liu Kang." but I'm still like, up until that point, I was like, "Did you have to tell her?" But sure. He does say the original timeline. I like how he says it with no bias. He's like, "Listen, I didn't even want to do all this. There was no other." Actually, no, he's a damn liar. He did have a choice. He did not have to reset the whole timeline. It was pretty okay. It was salvageable. Because Johnny Cage.
No. The timeline's already messed up. In 11, by the time he took over the Hourglass, Chronicles already went back like past the dinosaur stuff. It was already done.
By Aftermath though.
Yeah, Aftermath is after that fight.
No, but Aftermath when he fights Shang Tsung, it's before that moment. So technically he goes back before he fights Kronika at all.
Well, does he time travel to fight Shang Tsung at the Shang Tsung one?
So what happens in Aftermath is like the ending of 11 again, but Shang Tsung beats Kronika, and then Liu Kang before Kronika goes further back and just stops the timeline from happening. Right. So that never happened. Liu Kang comes back after he wins, and at that point, Johnny Cage and his family are still in prison. Katana's still alive. Yeah,
so they're all behind stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So he could have fixed it from there. But
I'm surprised that wasn't the two timeline thing here instead of just like, oh, when we were fighting, everything just split apart. Like, no, there's two timelines. There's one who came legit one, and there's one he came to fight too.
Yeah. So Austin, I guess until we got that reveal, and then Sindel's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, Luke?" I kind of like that moment where he has to take him back, just like, Luke, hey, what the fuck? You're God?
So I think you had to tell her though, because from her point of view, Shang Tsung just loyal subject of hers. He apparently Earthworm randomly invaded us to try to take him. based on nothing.
Right.
My daughter's freaking out and trying to kill people because of Liu Kang. Usually Liu Kang is usually straightforward about stuff, apparently. Like with her. Well, at least he thought he was. So it's like him do some sneaky shit like this, he might be turned evil after all these years of hearing this rumor from the bald-headed sorcerer man.
That's fair. Cryptid, what did you think about the reveal scene?
About what was the reveal again?
Sindel learning the truth about the universe and shit.
Okay. Well, she took it rather well, I gotta say. I'm kind of surprised she didn't ask more into how in the world could she fall in love with someone like Shao Kahn.
I don't think there was time because Shao Kahn literally came shortly after.
Well, I was thinking like, oh yeah, you were with jail and stuff, and then you killed him. Like he didn't get to that part. Like you were just evil and fucking Shao Kahn.
I think he wanted to spare Katana. Like, oh yeah, your mom whooped your ass and like damn near killed me too. So
He showed that scene.
Oh, did he? I thought he showed them just hugging.
He showed the scene where screaming at them and killing them.
Oh, okay. I'll cut people second. Okay.
You're evil as all the way. He didn't just show aftermath.
No. I did like though that she has to take a moment to put it in. Like she's asking like a lot of questions. She's like, "Look, hey." First she's in denial. She's like, "Look, hey, what the fuck are you talking about?" And then she's like,
"Do I praise you?"
Yeah, you're my god. Yeah, wait. Like, reasonable question. And even Katana's in the back, like, "Yo, what the fuck?" So it's calling. It's all cool. So I did like that reveal. And then we get to Austin, do you want to say the twist, the Chronica, the Damashi twist, basically?
Yeah, the goat Damashi finally shows up. He throws the crown down. And I guess the crown is supposed to be Chronicle's crown or just a random?
No, it's the okay, so in Deception, it was in Deadly Alliance, for them to use the army of Onaga, they needed the crown. That was what Shang Tsung originally needed in Quan Chi, basically. And they couldn't use it without it. And then, but in this one, Shang Tsung's like, oh no, I'm so much stronger. Oh no, Damashi, well, that's the twist. Basically, Damashi turns out to be Titan Shang Tsung from Aftermath, basically. The bad ending. And he's... Oh, the good ending, depending on your point of view. So, and so he's like, no, I'm so much stronger now. I don't need this to make it work. I just need the souls in it. So that's basically what he needed. So, I
was actually happy about that reveal more than seeing that Chronico is going to be the final boss villain, because not too much of a fan of Chronica, honestly.
I think anybody likes Chronica.
Yeah, she doesn't stand out.
Shang Tsung went out like a bitch. This man, you go by like fatalities, like Luke Cage, like making black holes and stuff in the versus mom, and everybody, their mom just fist fights Titan Luke Cage, Titan Shang Tsung, and he just gets beat up.
Wait, Crypto, where you
Austin, you would rather Chronica be the final boss instead of Onaga? Because everybody's been asking for Onaga.
Onaga wasn't in the game.
No, he was. He was into the story. But he was the game.
Sorry, yeah.
But
no, I'm just saying you would rather.
You don't want him to be the final villain. Naga wasn't the final villain. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but would you rather?
I'd rather Chronica didn't diss Shang Tsung.
You rather Chronica than Shang Tsung? I don't know about that. I think Shang Tsung needed a bigger presence. I think
with the way that Shang Tsung got beat up at the end of the story, I would 100% rather have Chronica, because
I think
you telling me the Titan Shang Tsung gets fist fought like random ass people, and just literally just gets it knocked out. That's literally he loses.
But to be fair, it would have. It would have. I think it would have. I think. Well, okay, we'll get into it too, because I was also gonna be a criticism of mine. I think at this point, this is where the story, like, at first is kind of interesting, because this is kind of what I wanted. I wanted like the two timelines to be canon, and then like I don't kind of like. This is where it kind of goes off the rails. So then evil Sindel shows up, and somehow she beats Fire God Liu Kang. Whatever, sure, fine, whatever. That's already a problem. And then you have Sindel versus, well, as the fans call her, Twin Del, which is evil Sindel, versus Sindel. I did like the callback to Sindel in Mortal Kombat 9 beating up everybody. I did like that whole. That was a good like. The callbacks in this game are pretty great. I will say.
Dude, honestly, Sindel is more of a
I don't
beast
think
than
the
everybody
callback
would
when she
think.
also beat the god of the fire god Liu Kang.
That's true. That's the only part I didn't like. But what were you saying?
Like, I was about to say she's more of a boss than everybody really thinks about because, like, I know a lot of people were not really happy when Katana defeated Shao Kahn in the last game. But if you had, like, let's say Sindel be the one to defeat Shao Kahn, would anybody disagree? Like, considering how many?
No, I really wouldn't. I would just
Yeah.
be like, sure, she can do it.
Yeah, considering how much she slaughters a lot of people en masse. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, she has a record for it.
But yeah, we do get now. This is where Melina just kind of goes off, and I'm like, I don't know why Melina's beating Evil Sindel. I don't quite understand that. Tarkat maybe makes her stronger. I don't know.
Get it? She overpowered 3 people barely trying to fight her. That means she can strong enough to fight Evil Sindel.
Yes. Oh, we also get Gerard back for the first time in the series. We get Gerard, the father of Katana, and this time I'm Melina. So.
Wait, Gerard?
That's his name, right? Gerard?
Druid?
Yeah. Ermac becomes Gerard because Gerard was one of the souls in him. He just kind of takes over her personality.
Yeah. Jared. Yeah, that... Okay, yeah, I was... When we first got to see Ermac, I didn't like his face. I don't think a lot of people liked his face. But then when you found out that, like, okay, now his face is now more resembling Jared, okay, now it makes more sense, you know?
Yeah. I also think, but all that was pretty. So I like having him back. It adds more things to the story. It helps the timeline be like, it has its familiarities, but it also has new things, and I think that was pretty good. And then, like, I think at this point, it's like I was okay with it, and then they were like, oh, but like if Titan Shang Tsung exists, then maybe other versions of Titans exist. I'm like, oh no.
Ooh.
So why?
Oh, yeah, you didn't go over that. Sindel died, and her soul's in Jared.
Oh yeah. So Sindel died. Yeah. So our Sindel, good Sindel, the true Sindel, she dies, and yeah, she's a part of Gerard, whatever.
Her husband was one body.
Yeah. And evil Sindel's dead.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, and so this is where I kind of like this is where the plot kind of loses me. Okay. So Shang Tsung explains that when we fought, which I was okay with this, we fought because we're 2 Time Lords. We created 2 timelines at one point. So the moment Choose Your Destiny shows up on screen, there's 2 timelines, basically. That's how it works. And that's fine. And then later, they take another leap in logic that doesn't apply, where Liu Kang's like, oh, well, maybe if we fought, we created other timelines. I'm like, I don't know why you would think that, but okay, sure. And so they do, it turns out to be true. And then this is where it gets really weird. It's like, okay, Liu Kang and Shang Tsung fought each other. But for some reason, because they fought each other, now everyone exists as a team. I'm like, what?
My problem is that because apparently all these people are from their arcade ending.
Right.
The arcade ending does not make sense because based on the story itself, you either needed Fire God Liu Kang or the crown, and they are neither one of those things. These people show up looking regular as I don't know what, with an outfit change.
Right.
They don't have god powers. They don't have the crown. I don't know how they. I don't know how they beat Crown.
Yeah. This was kind of set up in the movie Mortal Kombat Snowblind, where it's the timeline where Kano wins, and that's kind of where this idea was set up. But even then, I just accepted it as another movie, so I didn't really care. But seeing it in execution,
at least that Kano also had the crown. He just threw it away.
Yeah, but this in execution in game lore, I'm like, and then when they explain it, it's like, yeah, so why does Liu Kang and Shang Tsung fighting create timelines where people who weren't even there win? They weren't even at the door. Like, what happened? Like, like I don't understand. It would make more sense.
I just like to imagine that.
That's the writer.
Like Liu Kang beats Crown, and then someone just walk but he dies. Then someone just gets out of it.
Right.
That I was saying, like, that's the writers wanting to dip their hand in the multiverse cookie jar right there.
But they had it enough. Shang Tsung's world versus Liu Kang's world.
You can never have enough. you can never have enough cookies, man.
No, I'm just saying Shang Tsung's world and Liu Kang's world being at war with each other is already an interesting premise on its own. Having
That could have been
time
a
to
whole
see,
saga, not just a one game thing.
yeah, seeing different versions of history interact, just two of them is enough. I don't know why you thought you needed a whole like everyone. Um, and what I also don't and it made a good scene. Admittedly, Liu Kang and Katana finally having their moment they've been asking for. I guess. But I don't think it was worth it. And then at this point, Titan Shang Tsung is just a bitch. I think
Yeah,
God or
you
where the
get beat
dates are.
up by regular people.
Right,
You're supposed to be. You're not like Liu Kang who powered yourself down. You were the all powerful giant god.
right. In Aftermath, Shang Tsung was very intelligent. He handled his plans very smartly. He was waiting. He knew how to manipulate people. I mean, if you just play the game from his perspective, his ending is very well deserved. You know?
Mhm.
So to see him just make like dumb decisions, I don't know. That led up to his death.
All that power went to his head or his ego. You take your pick.
I suppose.
Why would I rather be close? I'd rather her be disrespected than him.
Yeah. And of course, this led to one of the biggest references, which was the Battle of Armageddon. And I'm like, oh, and this is, I think those were Cryptid. Cryptid and I are perfect agreement. Like, holy shit, this did not need to be in your first game. What are you doing?
Oh my
What are you
God.
doing?
I mean, there are definitely certain characters I kind of wanted to see more of from that pyramid. I don't know if you guys saw that there was John Connor as one of the fighters there, where Johnny Cage, Shao Kahn somehow became a Khan. I'm like, I kind of want to see that version.
Yeah, and it's like so. And then I'm also thinking, like, does every punch that Liu Kang and Shang Tsung had create a new timeline? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? Why are there so many? I don't know.
Jeez.
It was, but the Battle of Armageddon, yeah, you did see. But like I said, everything in the Battle of Armageddon, I think I'm going to use Star Wars Ahsoka episode 5 as an example. Everything in that scene is good. I would argue some of it's great. I just didn't want it here. I would argue. I would say I liked it. I like
Some of my kids dying.
the combat kids.
You're
Yeah.
playing as Johnny Cage, and then watching Katana just murdering the combat kids, including your daughter. And just be like, well, that's a wrap. That's ass.
Well, to be honest, to be fair, Johnny Cage didn't even know that was his kid. I mean, hey, he never even met
Bro, she got
Sonya.
his shades on. She has his
No,
shades on.
everybody
She dies
was.
with his aviators on.
To be fair, he could have.
Everybody was shades.
To be
You
fair, he
can't
could have
assume
thought it was a
everybody
No,
was
no, no,
shades.
no. Once you know there's other timelines, and you see all these people similar to you, and there's a girl with your shades on, I'm like, bro, I'm glad I didn't talk about this. Especially because if you go about the versus dialogue, he realized that he got with someone that had a kid when he talked to Liu Kang. He asked him, who was I with the last timeline did?
Oh yeah, he does.
So I think it's because his reaction to Cassie.
I don't think he would jump to that being his kid though. I think he would jump to the big. Is that like female Johnny Cage? I think that's like.
Oh yeah.
No, that was funny. Before that, he fights the people Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he
Now
already.
he knows, oh, that's not her.
Right.
Her name is
I
Jane
mean,
Cage.
wait, that was the one in the purple jumpsuit.
No, there was a female Johnny Cage that was with
Yes.
regular Johnny Cage, and she had like a sports bra, I think, if I remember
Sports
correctly.
bra. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I think it was like Jade or something.
Yeah. And I think that whole what I don't like about this is like I know it's probably fun to play through. I think story wise, it kind of cuts any weight. Realistically, this should be Liu Kang and Shang Tsung's most like bloodthirsty match.
Epic battle.
Yeah, this should
be like the final thing ever. Like legit.
Right. And so for this just to be over because some rando shows up. Okay. Oh, this was gonna say Austin. So this is how it was explained to me. Okay, so everyone was saying that, like all the Mortal Kombat fans. So I don't know which one is true. Everyone was explaining to me that in this battle, the moment Liu Kang is there with his army, everyone there, regardless of what they look like, is from a timeline where they are the Titan, basically, and that's why they can fight Quan Chi and Shang Tsung at the top of the tower, essentially.
No. Based on dialogue, there's only like a those 5 Titans, and then Liu Kang literally Kung Lao and them. Well, whoever else he said that was Titan who brought, they literally say, "Well, I can go bring the people from my timeline to come fight and all the other stuff." That's where the other people come from,
Right.
by their own dialogue.
Right. So the people that you're playing as are from, I don't know, like the people you're playing as
No,
are,
and the people that you are playing as specifically are the ones from this story.
Okay.
Because because we know for a fact that most of the Titans that Johnny would have, the Titans that he would have brought were Titans of the friends that he knows.
Right.
Those are the first one he brought back. So if we were playing as a Johnny Cage, it would have been a Johnny Cage from the last time. Like, we did clearly not.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that whole bit is.
He also did. You know, I wanted you to talk about it with Cryptid. Cryptid. Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage had the power to fight Elder Gods and Titans, but he did not bring a Titan version of them here who had that power.
I think it's not Titans, it's gods. But you're right. So, I think that's my. I think my problem with it is like there's no connection. The only characters that would make sense that have any narrative weight up there is Garrus, Raiden, and Shang Tsung.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're the only 3 that need to be up there. Everybody else is just like, why are you here? You have no weight. I also don't understand why there are characters at the top of the tower waiting for your character to come up. Like, go fight. Like there was a scene where good Shang Tsung and good Quan Chi were there fighting the evil versions, and they stopped their fight to look at you and be like, "Come on, you're almost there." I'm like, "Fight them!" What are you doing? I thought that was very dumb. But and then I don't like. Yeah, I don't like Fire God Liu Kang fighting the Deadly Alliance and then kind of losing again. It's like, bro, this is like the one time you have to win. Just the one. Just, you know, like, I don't know why. But
oh yeah, you just reminded me. Why would there be tiny versions of the people he made of this timeline, like in the same outfits? That don't make sense.
That's what I was told. I remember, like, I was saying how this doesn't make sense when the comment section was like, no, this is Titan versions of them. They're not actually those versions. So they
didn't exist until he made them. That wasn't like for the splinter timeline. They didn't exist yet. He made these versions.
Well, if this shows anything, it just shows that the ending is very confusing. That's all I would say. Mm-hmm. But if you know the answer, if you have your own theory, say in the comments. I don't know.
Wow, Jake, you don't expect a story about time travel and multiverses to be confusing, man?
Like, I guess not.
You know, because they went too far with it. It would find it between the 2 timelines.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, oh, we don't recognize that person. Must be from Shang Tsung. Like that would be that hard.
And then I think we could probably go to Austin's criticism is that Titan Shang Tsung, compared to the last game where it was a whole cinematic and like a whole badass finisher, he goes out like a punk at this one. He just he's knocked out and he's like,
he's knocked out.
The Liu Kang's like, you're gone now. So, and then I gotta ask,
which should be impossible.
He got lazy.
Based on this game, in order to kill him and destroy this island, you would have to break the hourglass. He didn't go do.
Right.
He got lazy sitting on that throne of his all that time. Like, I guess.
I suppose. I don't know. I mean, but he got lazy, but he knows how to use his powers more. That's how he knew about the crown. Like Onaga's crown, he knew how to exploit it. So I mean, he should be like more knowledgeable.
And not even that, no, by his dialogue, he said that he'd been training his people since the time he'd been here. Like his run was the reason his Sindel was strong is because they've been training to fight. The moment he found out about this, he was ready. He was training for eons. He was there to win. And then he just lost.
Right. To a nobody. Not even a god. Just like some guy. Just anybody on the crowd.
Yeah, like their eyes Titans glowing. You can't call these people Titans. Some of them are Titans, but they're just regular Johnny Cage.
Yes.
That's why you gotta go with Johnny Cage if you're gonna be picking a fighter. Go with Johnny Cage, God slaying powers. There you go. That makes more sense.
Also, I think
all you had to do is bring out Johnny Cage, and I'm like, okay, you know what? That makes a perfect sense. Johnny Cage, you can't go right before me.
So I gotta ask, for like a battle that could have gone either way, it seems like Liu Kang was actually beating the dog shit out of Shang Tsung when he got up to that tower. So, despite the fact that after, despite the fact that in Aftermath, it seemed like their battle was 50-50 and anyone could have won that fight. It didn't actually feel like it. So,
Yeah, you talking about lazy. Luke Kane legitimately has not fought since the timeline started.
So he's kept himself in condition, but I don't think he's actually like physically had to put his hands on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't training. But yeah, I think this is kind of where the story kind of peters out. It ends on a really cool note where everybody's talking about, where Johnny Cage is talking about the movie, and everyone's like, kind of bonding, and then Johnny Cage, who has no idea what he's talking about, is like, yeah, I think you really did change our lives for the better, Liu Kang. I'm like, you don't fucking know, but sure.
Yeah, he's like, why do you think that? Because you have to think about your wife or student forcing, bro.
Yeah. You were doing pretty good for yourself.
You the same person for getting these things to the end of this thing, except you have a friend now. Or were you lonely?
Right. So, I guess he had a wife too. So
oh, she left them. A wife left them.
Up until that point. So I'm just saying. But
well, I guess he did make it like better than I just lost my wife. I gained like 5 people, and I met new women.
So sure, and then I own a franchise. I guess I think that ending was cool. It was just what a mess. And what's crazy is this happens every Mortal Kombat game that the World Studios does. They start off very strong, and then it just kind of fucks up at the end. I don't know how they do it every time. Happens with 9. 10, I like 10, but I know a lot of people that like that ending. So at 11, up until Aftermath, but sure.
Well, to be fair, they 10, what, Raiden just randomly being evil?
10, no, they didn't like Cassie beating Shinnok the way she did. So
That means Very Resistance based on the setup of Johnny doing it.
Right. But I don't know. There's a whole thing. I would have to go look into it. I don't want to straw man people, but people don't like that story. But I guess to wrap up, all we know now is that in the end, Onaga exists, but he's not a Titan. He's not like the king. He's not that guy. Onaga's army is gone.
Chainsaws Havoc is here.
Yeah, Havoc.
I think that will make for an interesting final boss of the next game, because Havoc, the embodiment of chaos, getting Khan-like status. I think that's overdue, I can only see his character being more frightening from here.
But he doesn't have Kong like that. It's literally just 3 people left from Shang Tsung's timeline, and he just happened to be one of them. And then you have the other one who got Rain to kill like all his enemies. Apparently, in like Water Realm, Rain just killed everyone, and then he felt bad about it, turned himself in, and Havoc's like, "Well, I guess I'm in charge." And it's like, this is what you set up for the next game?
Yeah. I don't know.
But Naga apparently already got beat before. Like, I'm not scared of this guy.
Yeah, I know. He's like in shade somewhere in the basement. I'm like, okay, sure. And our Havoc, by the way, the main time on Havoc, he went to Rain, and Rain was like, yeah, I'll just flood your place. They'll solve your problem. So he flooded his realm, and now it's in chaos. It was Order Realm, but now it's in chaos. So,
I thought it was already Chaos Realm.
No. And this timeline, there was no Chaos Realm. From my understanding, there was no Chaos Realm. There was just Order Realm, and then Rain came over and just flooded the whole thing, and now it's in chaos. So now it's Chaos Realm. So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, the story is good. I would rewatch it again for fun, but I think by the ending, I'll just be like, this ending sucks. So, probably fun to play.
Any theories for what the storyline will be for the next DLC of this game?
But what the fuck would you? I guess Bihan, maybe finish the Bihan plot. I don't know. Like, what would you do?
I feel there is going to be a part to this story, so I guess it just picks up where Havoc's going.
That would be so.
So we don't have to say. So that's not the main part of the next game.
Yeah,
okay. So no, you do the aftermath with the Havoc Con, but then you set it up for Onaga coming back and being the main villain for the next game.
But it has to be a different one. It can't be the one we have. This one got beat up.
Yeah, the Onaga here seems to be a wild beast. And
he had an army, but his army's gone. They deactivated.
No, you make the Onaga a different multiversion of himself. Who would
That's
you want
the
to see? Who you want
Do
to
you
see?
really just want to keep copping out like that though? Where it's like every game's like,
Well,
well, we're doing
well,
an alternate
well,
version
to
of you.
Crypto's point, it's like, what else can you do? You can't like go
yeah,
less, can you? I don't think you
yeah. I mean,
can.
Yeah,
they have
if you make it a more personal story, you didn't.
Wait,
Not every story needs to be multiverse with some big
no,
threat. It's just like a movie.
but I'm saying like with who? Like who's left? Because everybody's been pacified or they suck. Like, like, you know what I mean? It's like who's left in this timeline to do something?
I think you. If okay, so the story is going to be Reiko is going to try to tame Onaga for Shang Tsung.
Right.
I mean, not Shang Tsung for Shao Kahn. I think someone's going to do something infused with Onaga instead.
Mhm.
I think Onaga's going to be absorbed or fused with. Because this one, he just seems to be a mindless beast. And he's already lost. He lost against one of Shao's fucking ancestors.
Huh.
So you're not going to convince me that Liu Kang can't beat him
Mhm.
if he just starts doing anything.
Right.
You're not going to convince me that Saint Dale can't beat him.
Right. I'm sorry, we cut you off again. What were you saying?
Oh no, go ahead.
I would.
Like he just got that big a threat as timeline.
That's why you
But I
have.
feel like you have to start building up this timeline. Instead of just having these strong people just come from other places. Like, well, yeah, so our timeline was fine. And then some super strong guy came over. And he wanted to walk. And then that you don't do that every game?
Right.
No.
Crypto, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, like, yeah, even though, so just now that we know the status is that Onaga is a defeatable character, that's why you have to go with the amalgamation. Who do you guys think will make the most epic amalgamation with Onaga?
Onaga and Shao, I guess.
Yeah, I think it would be Shao Kahn trying to fuse. It's not going to be Shao Kahn, Quan Chi, or Shang Tsung trying to fuse with him for power. And then Onaga's ruthless nature takes over. Most likely.
But then we don't have the threat of the Dragon Army because we know that was deactivated, so unless they can reactivate it again. But it sounds like they were destroyed.
Right. No, they only could use it because they needed Soul to use it. I think Onaga can just use it.
I know. I said, and I think I could be mistaken. In one of the verses, they say that they actually just took them up. They like you can't use like nobody can use them. It's gone. Like it's over. Like they're done. Because Liu Kang just found them too big of a threat, so they just got rid of them. Basically, that's why I remember. I could be mistaken, but that's what it was implied. In some verses lines.
Well, I don't know.
The only thing else you could do is the Cyber Lin Kuei being Onaga's army. I guess I don't fucking know, but
A cyber dragon.
No, they're not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun too. If they're killing Onaga, they just bring it back as a cyber Onaga.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I would rather just stay in this timeline because I feel like the multiverse thing is getting played out already because they went too hard. I wouldn't have mind a multiversal Armageddon. I just not so soon. That's really the issue. And then you already did the other story in the side mode, Invasion with Scorpion, Hanzo Asashi.
Where would it be invading for a reason?
Yeah, Hanzo Asashi invades. Hanzo Asashi from another timeline invades this timeline because he's looking for. It's Spider-Verse. He's looking for his wife, but his wife is dead in every other timeline. Then he finds this timeline and he finds that Kuai Liang is married to his wife. He's like, "Fuck you!" So he starts a war. And then Liu Kang's like, "Hang on, chill out." And they like use the hourglass. He's like, "Oh look, there's your wife. You're just dead in this timeline. Go chill with her." Boom. So there you go. So now his wife and him are Scorpion, and they go on vengeance missions and have sex. I guess I don't know. So
So I think you invent a new character, or if you do the multiverse story, don't like go have them invade like this normal sense. I think you just do a multiversal Onaga, where it's like, nah, I want all the timelines to be one, and I'm gonna kill him.
Also,
instead of merging the realm, we're gonna merge the timelines. We're gonna end this dumb plot.
I think maybe you also just could do what Austin was suggesting before. Do the Shinchenko as a villain. Maybe not even the third game. Maybe in the sequel. I think that would keep him here.
Ooh, make him the final boss.
Yeah, I was like, if you want to do a more personal story, I think you set him up here because he's being trained at the same time as like Kid Hanzo Asashi.
Yeah.
So it could be a cool little like story. You get these like him smoke and all them trading him and his kid out on other stuff. And then the main mentor like turns evil for him. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe bring back Taven. I don't know why Taven would be here because I would be certain Luke Cage would let that happen again.
Taven is too vanilla of a character.
Did y'all see Shujinko's fatality, by the way?
No.
What was it?
It's the 5-finger death thing from Kill Bill.
Oh, the heart exploding technique.
So how she killed Bill is that,
Okay. But yeah, all in all, I wouldn't say I'm hyped for this game's aftermath. I'm not saying I would hate it. I'm just saying like there's nothing really interesting me because there's not much to this timeline. And like I said, I was gonna say this at the beginning, but I wanted to wait. I think that's my biggest problem with this timeline. Liu Kang pacified it so much. I don't know what else to do with it. Like I feel like the writers.
Yeah, there's only 6 rounds, right? They're not even like all the. We can't even get like surprise rounds in this timeline.
Yeah,
Liu Kang made them all. He knows all of them. It's only 6, apparently.
Yeah,
that's why you bank on the embodiment of chaos, which is Havoc Kong.
Yeah, it seems like in the.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't understand how he heals but can't heal his mouth. Like I don't understand that.
That's choice. That has to be by choice, you know. He doesn't want to look like a pretty boy.
I don't choose to not heal around the mouth your whole life.
Chaos.
You just bite it as fast as it regrows. It's not that hard.
I remember that thing. I think it was in Deception where he's like training Shujinko, and he's like, Shujinko's like, train me, no, and then Havoc tries to beat him up, and then Shujinko wins. He's like, why would you do that? He's like, because if I trained you, then that would be order, but by fighting you, you learn my style, which is chaos.
Yeah, that's his motive. That will be his motivation. Like, oh damn it, Liu Kang, you brought order to the multiverse and this stuff. You can't have order. We need chaos to rule.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, they gonna have Havoc fuse with Onaga.
Yeah, that'll be epic. That'll be dope.
They like, nah, chaos just here. No, I can with Onaga. I can bring chaos to the multiverse. I know how to merge the time or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Shang Tsung's Havoc fuse with this Havoc, and then they fuse with Onaga. There you go.
But with all this multiverse stuff, I only think it's a matter of time before we have to reboot again. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Let me ask before we end it. I just want to know: is there any character specifically you hope comes up in 2?
Striker.
Oh, Sonya. I just want to see. I think Sonya could fit easily here. But
I'm just one of the few rare Striker fans out there, audience. So
I think I would like to see Sonya, and I mean my wish. Yeah, my wish character wouldn't be in the sequel, but you know it's Cassie. But other than that, no, not really.
I don't want to see my boy Kotal Khan disrespected again.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be in like. That's what I don't think Cassie's gonna be in this timeline. And she's probably. If she's DLC for like the DLC story, then the story is probably gonna have to be with her. No. Oh, she's just DLC.
The DLC story character seemed to be like DLC Pack 2, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's a damn shame.
But it depends on which character pack she's in. I guess you play that. Like if all the rest of the combat kids are in the second combat pack, they're probably in the Aftermath story.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll depend on when the story comes out.
Yeah.
Whatever pack it comes out with, the pack that's involved in it.
Yeah.
But
what you know.
For me, I just want more realms. I don't know how you really do that until you merge all the timelines.
Yeah, like I said, I think okay. So that's their final thoughts.
Just bring in the Ball and Kano. I want to see what Sonya do since Jack is FBI and not like special forces. So is she gonna be like still be army?
I think because of Johnny Cage, some people are gonna take him seriously in the government, and maybe like they make a special forces, and that's where Sonya's in charge of. And maybe she goes out with Kenshi instead of Johnny. Boom, there you
go. Okay.
Yeah, I can just have her get with Jackson at this point.
Yeah.
That was a real motivation anyway, trying to find Jax.
Yeah. But anyway, final thoughts. I guess everybody got
pretty good. Hopefully, I'll get a PS5 in time for the Peacemaker DLC. So,
Austin?
I hope it's Conan the Barbarian and not Kotal as DLC.
as a Kotal fan, I agree with Austin.
Yeah, I'll love to see Conan the Barbarian in Mortal Kombat. I think that'd be so cool.
I would just like to say I think it was a strong start, a weak finish. I really hope they plan this out because I know Mortal Kombat isn't supposed to be ending anytime soon. But again, what the fuck are you gonna do to keep this franchise going if everything is multiverse related? That seems like a recipe for you're gonna write yourself into a corner, which they did in the last trilogy, even though they didn't have to. So I don't know how much I trust them not to do it again. So, because if we have to reboot after 2 other games again, I don't know. I might be really annoying, but
Look, bro, they're just following the example their daddy gave them, bro.
Yeah.
They remember they're all about Waterburg, the DC.
no, it's true.
Reboot.
Right, but
Comics, movies, games, reboot.
I hope they play it smart and the game looks fun. So actually play the game. Go out and play it. But, yeah. All right. Yeah, that was everything. You guys ready to get out of here?
All right. No, we gotta plug in our socials.
Oh,
Otherwise, Witch will be mad at us.
Austin, plug in them socials.
I'm not plugging them in because I hate doing them at the end. I don't know why y'all wait till the end of the video where people already probably signed off to try to be like, oh yeah, so go find us here. Like they're not here.
Well, yeah, but now we have to, and I don't know them.
All right.
So.
Okay. Well, follow us on Twitter on Instagram, Comic Fanatic 2.0. You can also follow us on Twitter at Comic Fanatic 69. And there you go. That's as much as I remember.
Follow Witch at Witch_of_Showtime on multiple platforms. But don't tell Witch that we sent you. Say God did.
Yeah. Say America did it.
America.
But yeah, okay. All right. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Bye, audience. Bye.